All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Brandon Dale, and this is the podcast setup that I've been using for almost 3 years now. The very first episode was uploaded on July 9th, 2019, and when I started, I remember I had a mic, a video camera, and an audio interface, and through those 3 years, I've accumulated all this gear, so I can just say that I have the setup that I've wanted since then, and the goal with this setup was to be able to just walk in my studio, hit a few buttons, and record the podcast. So it's set up for efficiency, and I don't want to move anything in the studio. Just make it easy, walk in and record. So I'm gonna split this video into different chapters, so you can just scroll around and just find what works for you. And yeah, let's just get started with it. Quick note, I just want to mention I've bought all this equipment with my own money, so I'm not sponsored by any of these companies that I'm about to mention, but hey, any sponsors out there, slide in the DMs. All right, the microphone that I'm using is the Shure SM7B, and I'm sure you guys have seen this before. Joe Rogan uses it, but even artists like Mac Miller, Michael Jackson, Logic, they use it as well. And what I like about it is it filters out the sound behind the microphone, and it only picks up audio in front of the microphone. So great microphone overall. Connected to this microphone is an XLR splitter cable, and it's going to my Roland VR1 HD, and it's also going to the the Focusrite Scarlett 18i8. So that's 4 input audio interface, and we'll get into that later. All right, moving on to the Roland VR1 HD. It is a audio / video mixer, and the main reason why I got this was because I can connect my 2 microphones to it and also my 2 video cameras to it, and it has this auto switch feature that I like on it. It just cuts video editing time. All I had to do is just cut the intro and the outro to the video file, and it's basically done. But yeah, this auto switch feature it has, I'll demonstrate it right now. I'll move to the guest mic real quick, and yeah, as you can see, it switches and detects the audio that the microphone's picking up, and it just switches to this microphone. So let me go back to the other mic real quick. And yeah, so it's an auto switch feature, which is really cool because I used to just use one video camera, and I would have to sync the microphone audio with the video file, and just editing time was just way too much. So this cuts editing time down basically in half. So that's why I got this VR1 HD. Earlier I mentioned that I'm using a XLR splitter cable from my mic to the VR1 HD and also the Scarlett 18i8. And the reason why I picked the Scarlett is because it's a 4 input audio interface. So whenever I have multiple guests, I can plug in 2 extra mics and sync the video and audio together. And that's the solution that I came up with. So I can, whenever I have multiple guests, I can just use that as well. And it's just what works for me. The 2 cameras that I'm using are the Panasonic Lumix GH4. They were made several years ago, and in 2023 they're still a good option to use. They record 4K quality, and the main reason why I got it was because these cameras can record longer than 30 minutes, and most cameras have a 30-minute record limit. So these basically just run off of however much power you have and however much SD memory space you have. So solid option to use even if you don't have the Roland VR1 HD. Still a solid option to use. All right, for lighting, I have 2 studio lights that are on the ceiling there, and running across the room is a Manfrotto auto pole. And what that does is just removes the studio lights from the floor and just gives me extra space to walk around and move around. So it just saves a lot of space. And behind the desk here are 2 smaller studio lights, and it just gives extra light. And then behind me here, I have a RGB floodlight, and then behind the guest is another RGB floodlight, just to add a little bit of color and yeah, that's my lighting situation, and it works for me. All right, this only applies to Lumix GH4 users. As soon as you open up OBS, you're gonna see the info display on the bottom here, and to remove that, you're gonna go over to the camera here. You're gonna hit menu, and then you're gonna go to here, HDMI record output. Go to info display and turn that off. And you can see here my camera's a little busted. Still a trooper. All right, the software that I'm using is OBS, and I have everything connected to it: the mics, the cameras, the video interface, and Focusrite. So everything is connected to OBS, and it's open now. So if you go to sources, I have browser, Scarlett, and VR1 HD. And I have the browser turned off because if I want to pull up a video or show something to someone, it also picks up on the video feed, so I can turn it on and off. So also what's cool is I have this Stream Deck here, and I can just press a single button and it'll turn on and off. So to set up these little sources here, you're gonna add a source here, and I have the display capture for the screen capture. So hit that. Once that pulls up, go to the display here, pick your display, and that's already set up. And then for the Scarlett, I have just the Scarlett setup. So I believe this is already a default. You're gonna hit properties, and I'm using the Scarlett Focusrite interface. That's what I'm using. I'm not using the VR1 HD audio. I'm using the Scarlett audio interface. For the VR1 HD, so the VR1 HD is picking up these two Panasonic Lumix GH4s as a webcam. So basically, if you want to add a source, you're going to add a video capture here, and properties. So you're going to choose VR1 HD as the webcam or whatever video source that it's picking up. All right, so that's basically how I run the podcast, and all of the equipment that I mentioned is going to be in the description down below. It's going to be an affiliate link, so I'm going to get a small percentage of whatever you buy, just to support the channel and the podcast, because this rent doesn't pay itself, right? And I love doing this, and I love providing value. So if you've got any value from this video, like the video, comment down below, and if you have any questions, I'm going to answer every single comment or question that you guys mentioned. So I'll see you on the next one. All right, guys, peace.